Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and today is another episode of Thrifty Canucks. Yay! This is my Manitoba haul, suitcase number 2, part 2, because there was so much stuff in that second suitcase I couldn't show it to you all in one video. So I have a total of 3 suitcases, so the third suitcase will be after this, and then I have 2 more boxes yet. It's a little embarrassing. I've been saying that all along. It's a little embarrassing, but I actually gave it some thought. And usually when I show you a thrift haul, it's based on, 1 day or 2 days of me going thrifting, and, and it's a big pile, but it's manageable. And so I don't feel so bad. I was 2 weeks in Manitoba and all this stuff is coming out of those suitcases and those boxes. So I'm pretty much right on track, right? But I have lots to show you. So it's all over the place again because things were stuffed in wherever they could fit. This is a big bag of beads. They're just cheapy, as I say, cheap, mean, and nasties. I double bagged them in the suitcase because I thought, oh my goodness, if this broke in the suitcase, what a mess it would be. They were there was 4 plant hangers that were beaded. And I still have a few of the wires, or not wires, it's like a beaded thread still sticking on them. And this is how they were beaded. I left a piece just to show you. And I took them all apart so that I didn't have all the bulk of having the individual pieces. So this all fit into one sandwich baggie. And before that, it would have taken up probably 2 bags like this because of the way it was put together and the bulk in it. But there is no doubt a lot of beads here. And I paid $3.99 for 2 hangers. And I got 2 packages of 2 hangers. So I had 4. And so $3.99 each. But I got my 30% off on them as well, because I got these at Value Village. But the value, the beads is just unbelievable. So a lot of this I can use for making little beaded clusters. You've seen me make the little bead centers. This would be perfect for doing stuff like that. No shortage of things to use these little nasty beads on. And I have some other projects with jewelry coming up that I will be using stuff like this and showing you how to repurpose this stuff if you don't use it for jewelry. In our travels, we went to an antique sale on Hazel's last day with us in Manitoba. And we all bought, there was myself, Thelma, and Hazel, we all bought a really large big bag of jewelry. I haven't come to mine yet. But I'm going to have a whole series after these flowers. I'm going to have a whole series on making dangles and repurposing jewelry and showing you how to make window dangles. All of that will come in a series of several weeks after this flower series. There's only 2 more for now. There is going to be another one later on, but that one I'm going to wait on until later on. But for sure, 2 more videos for you to see coming up for techniques. So I will show you how to use a lot of these beads. I'm going to put it in a spot where this comes back, so just remember it. And then I bought this doily, and it's kind of thick fabric, and it looks like they sewed it all together in pieces. I'm not sure why I bought it. I liked it. I don't know yet how I'm going to use it exactly. There's these round circles that I could cut out in little groupings or individually and play on it. There's this lace that is separate that I could probably cut. It's different, so I'm not sure where I was going with this. I might just use it in small pieces to make pockets. If you can imagine like a quarter pocket, this sort of looks like a fan. That would be cute on a page, although it would have to be a big journal for it to fit, or maybe just cut slightly smaller. But yeah, I don't know why I bought it. I just liked it. It was something weird about it that I liked. I don't imagine I paid more than $1 for it. That's for sure. Then there was this scarf, and I happened to be with Thelma and Hazel. This was the day we picked Hazel up at the airport. And I love the possibilities of this scarf because, one, you've got this beautiful trim that can be taken off right from the get-go. You've got this gold netting, which is, for me, a really pretty color that I like to work with. And then you've got this scalloped floral lace center. So I could see cutting these out and then using some of the gold with it and then cutting some of the gold with the trim. And it worked, you know, there's lots of things I could do with this. So I love it. I could also see doing some beading on top of here and some sequins. So whenever I do stuff like that, I would certainly turn on the camera and show you what it is I'm going to do. But the scarf was really long, an exceptionally long scarf, much longer than what I normally see. I was able to give a third to Thelma and a third to Hazel. And I only paid $2.99 for the scarf, so it was a very good price. And I think, again, 10% off for seniors at where we were. This was a piece of fabric that Thelma had gifted me. She gave me a big bag of stuff. She didn't give me a suitcase because she knew I wouldn't be able to take home a suitcase. So she gave me my stuff in a brown paper bag, but that's okay. I like brown paper bags too. And I love these little clusters of flowers. This would be so much fun to make into a, you know, just cut it out, fussy cut it out and just use it as a spot element on a page or, you know, incorporate it into other things as well. I had so much of it, I gave some of it to Hazel. Hazel and I each took turns cutting up different pieces from what Thelma gave her and what Thelma gave me, and then things that we bought and liked. So we split them all different ways. And there's a really cute story coming up in one of the other videos when I get to the next suitcase, I think. So that was from Thelma. Then this was another scarf I bought, and it was also a huge scarf that I was able to share in. It was actually a long, very long rectangle, and it may also be one of those wrap scarves that they wear with their saris. I'm pretty sure because it's the same kind of cotton. And this one didn't have any lace trimmings though, so it was just plain. But I was able to share this 3 ways again with Thelma and with Hazel. The fun part about this is now I left it wide so I could make that choice, but I can cut it into thin strips and just use it exactly the same way you would use a sari ribbon. It frays nicely and, you know, it ties really nice. So these are great to tie around journals and use for making tassels and all kinds of things. But I love that it ties or tears so nicely and so quickly. And this goes on quite a long length. It's probably at least 2, maybe 3 meters long. So Hazel and Thelma also got a good size piece so that they could cut it in any width that they wanted. And I would use this for clusters as well, but most likely I'll use it more for strips because I love the color and I love what I could do with this. I see some boho tassels one day. We really need to make some boho tassels. I've gotten so low on that kind of stuff. Now, I don't know if you remember in one of the other videos, I showed you the cuff of the sleeve and I said I cut off the blue part because the sleeves and the sari dress didn't, you know, they were just too bulky to leave the sleeves on. So I cut the sleeves off. The blue is somewhere yet to be found that I cut off. You've seen the cuffs. I think you've seen the garment as well. If not, it'll be coming. And so this was the wrap scarf that goes around it. Now, it is just plain blue netting, most of which I will tear into strips and use for making ruffles. But the gold trim and, you know, this trim along the bottom, I will salvage to make, you know, just a thin trim in the 2 colors. And then here it would just be a long gold trim that I would keep for other projects. And so this will get used up very quickly. When you start making ruffles, if you're on your sewing machine, even by hand, I mean, you can certainly sew these by hand. Ruffles are easy to sew by hand. But when you start taking stuff like this apart and doing it for that purpose, you'll be surprised how quickly this disappears. So again, when I take one of these apart, I will have a day with you to do that so you can see my process and then how I use them. So this you know, I can't remember. I think this sari was around $10.99, and it came with this and the dress. So, or you know, I say dress, but it's like a tunic top, because there would have been pants with it too. Actually, there was pants with it. Now that I think about it, there was pants. But I sent the pants back because I have a lot of blue. I sent the pants back in another thrifting day where I could get a coupon. So I used that with a few other things to get a coupon at Value Village. So sometimes when sometimes when you have enough of what you want out of a project, like, maybe you buy a dress and you don't want the pants, or maybe you cut off some of the material to use, but it's more than you need. You can always package it as material and take it back to the Value Village with, whatever else you're taking for the day, and get a coupon, right? And so save another 20% or 30%. 20%. Coupons are 20%. Senior's Day is 30%. So this dress, I know we bought in Winkler. Winkler. The girls were going crazy over the jewelry there. I wasn't. It's a very simple sari tunic. Like, doesn't have a lot of bling. There's the embroidery here with a few sequins in the center and the mirrored plastic sequins. But I just love the colors. There's a little hint of gold in here. It's probably not easy to see in the camera, but it's got like that gold coloring and the red. So maybe that red material would be a nice complement to this. Yeah, this would be very nice to go together. So I could see using some of this with it. And I would probably play on the golds, a little bit of blue here. So this kind of pattern and color combination really gets me inspired to play on all of the color. So stay tuned for that, because that will be something coming. And it's funny, I'm just looking on my desk here and I have this piece of scrapbook paper. It's not something I would use, but I just couldn't believe how close it matched. But it allows me to find things that I can draw on to get these colors to work together. And so I love this kind of look. And that was, now this one was $7.99. I would have got the 10% off of this, so I paid about $7 for it. This one, I love orange. I love orange and teal and rusty orange, but what I love the most about this is it's a scarf. I paid $4.99, so $5, less 20% probably, or 30 depending on which day we went. But it is covered in elephant motif. So I will cut those out individually. This is a border of smaller elephant motifs. I hope you can see them. I'm holding it upside down too. So I hope you can see them. They are just beautiful. And so I will use this as a border. I will probably cut this just under this other trim here. And then I see, this is how it works for me. Like, I see all these little, they're like little tiny paisleys. Can you see that? I hope. I could see beading these individually and having beads hanging down. So I would cut it just under that paisley and dangle things from it. So this would become a really beautiful border at the bottom of a journal. And then I would incorporate this color of the elephant here in the journal as well. But then in the center, it's a little bit more sporadic, but in the center they have them in the orange as well. So this is going to be so much fun to cut up and to use in pieces. I would not use this as a journal cover as itself. Mind you, I have lots of it. I could, but they're upside down otherwise, then they're facing different directions. So I would most likely cut it all out and then save the scraps for something else, which I will show you when I get to that scarf. This was a crochet doily tablecloth. It was massive. I got half of it and Hazel got the other half. It was $6.99, $7 at Value Village. Ooh, here goes an avalanche. $7 at Value Village, so I would have got my 20 or 30% off. I don't remember. All the days are a blur now. But I did give her some of it to go home to lighten my load. But this now they're all individual round circles, like round doilies, so I will cut them out individually, as well as try to salvage these little tiny ones here, because these are nice for the center of flowers if you're making scrappy fabric flowers. These are nice for doing for that. As well, this is nice for behind a flower, so I'm going to have to leave this out as well to remind myself that we're going to play with these when we're doing our flowers. The tablecloth also comes with this wide border and the scalloped edge, so I could see either cutting it off here to leave that and make pockets that would have little, like a rounded bottom, which would be fun. Or I would cut it there, and I could use these for making tabs or other elements and decorations on a page. It could be a top fabric flip. Same with the whole piece here, could be a top fabric flip. More little flowers to cut out, or more different types of borders, and then more circles. And then there's more of the same fabric here. So there's lots of different ideas. It just depends on how you want to store this, how quickly you want to go through it. I have a tendency of wanting to cut out all the doilies right off the hop. So when before I put this away, I will probably make that decision, but I may just keep the border from here down in one piece intact until I have a better idea of what it is I want to do with this part. But it will get stored nearby this, so I can make that decision afterwards. Or use, pieces of this as a journal cover, like an overlay of a journal cover. So if there was the journal there, you'd have this over top with something underneath, something that shows through the original color. So lots of possibilities, but I will leave it like this until I make a closer to using it decision. Does that make sense? But yeah, Hazel got half of it, so she's got lots of things to do with hers too. She's probably shaking her head saying, what was I thinking? Now, I see a big tear in this, so I don't know who got half. I'm guessing Hazel got some, or maybe Thelma. I don't know. It was a bed sheet. I love this kind of taupey colored background. And, the roses are very soft colors. As much as we can say dusty rose, they're very subtle. So I could see using these individually or making individual little pockets with them. Trimming with lace or any other kinds of trims that you have. This piece here just says ribbon. I just can see myself tearing that into a long, shabby ribbon, but I would be very careful to make sure that it does tear straight. At this point, I don't know. It looks like it's tearing reasonably straight here based on where I did tear it. So I don't know who got part of this, because it depends on which day we went and who I was with and who asked for it. So I know somebody got some of it anyway. But yeah, I paid $3.49 for it at the full price, and there would have been a discount because it was Value Village. I came prepared. I have been taking stuff in small doses to Value Village every time I go, and usually I go on 30% off day, so I don't need a coupon, or I use the coupons they send me in the mail. So any of the donation coupons, I had them all stashed in my purse for when I got to Winnipeg, that I could just run with scissors and get my discounts no matter which days, and hand them out to whoever needed a coupon as well. And same with Salvation Army. My aunt and her girlfriends, they say they take their donations to Salvation Army and they get a coupon for me. And one of my aunt's friends handed me a big envelope full of them. And my aunt had some in her car, some tucked in all over the place. And then Thelma had sent me a bunch because she had extras. She had sent me a bunch here to New Brunswick. So I turned around and brought them all back with me. And, I by the time I was done, I only had about 4 left. So I think I did pretty good with giving everybody coupons. Nobody had to pay the regular price for stuff. We were getting the 20% off on everything. So that was awesome. Okay, lots of little fabric-y bits. Now, Hazel, was this half from you? Was this half from Thelma? That I gave half to you, because I know you have some of this. And this again goes with that burgundy fabric. If I can reach it. Yes, so I could again see using this with this. So something's coming. I don't remember how I got this. Was it Thelma gave it to me and I gave you some, or vice versa? Fun piece of fabric, lots here, so I can easily get 2 good-sized journals out of this and some scrappy bits to play with. So lots of fun ahead with this piece. Now, I know that Hazel was showing one of these, and I have one. I obviously bought one for 50 cents, and she bought one. And they are lace panels, curtain panels, with all this extra stuff and lots of sheer fabric. And again, this is all great ruffle material, this sheer stuff. So we will have to have a play one day and I'll show you, because I will probably cut these out in, you know, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 pieces together, but there's quite a bit here. So, you know, I don't want to, I like to reduce this as much as possible. So I'm, you know, I may cut them in 3s and keep it for in case I want to do a journal cover or an overlay, or knowing that I might take some of this apart as well and use individually. So it's doesn't stay all together wherever possible. I like to downsize it as much as possible. And so all of this sheer material, again, will get used to make ruffles. You get to the point where there's so much of this stuff that you don't have to hoard it flat and not use it. I just use it up as soon as I get it and as soon as it's done so that I can move on to something else. So you will see me working with these a little bit more than normal. Now, I don't know who gave me this, but I guess it's for my Peacock journal. The one I didn't know I was making, but I am now. So somebody gave me a piece of this fabric. I think I got these off the sharing table, but then again, somebody could have left them on my desk. I don't know. When we were at the crop, there was all kinds of things showing up on my table from time to time. I had no explanation to where it came from, but I just said, yeah, I'll take it. You know, people know what I like, so I just put it in my pile or in the bag. But I don't know how I got the Peacock fabric or ribbon, if somebody could tell me. Would make a great belly band. Definitely there's enough here to make at least 1 belly band. Yeah, 8.5. So 1 belly band and 1 pocket. Perfect. That's all you need. If there is a wire in here, I usually like to remove the wires because they do eventually come out and they are painful when you get poked with one. So I would probably remove the wire, but the wire is fine enough that I could leave it in if I'm going to make this into a pocket and I don't want to take it out. I can just stitch around it. I know that the sewing machine will go over that wire without any problems. So either way, whether I keep it in or take it out, it will be used for a Peacock journal. Now, this fabric, I think I showed you this one in my first video, and I just love these colors, and it's just it just calls to me. And it's a cotton polyester blend. It's I would use it more as journal liners than I would as covers, but if I do back it with some you know, some felt or felt interfacing, you know, where I can iron on the interfacing, then I would use it as a cover. But for the most part, I would probably use it as linings, like on the inside pages or the inside of the cover of a journal. But having said that, in part one of Suitcase number 2, yeah, keep up, you guys, I showed you this roll of ribbon that I had taken off of a scarf because it left less bulk. But look at that. Can I match this any better? Like, this is absolutely perfect. And it was bought 2 different times, 2 different locations. And I just cannot believe how, you know, it was meant to be. So yes, this is going to be definitely a journal cover and trim that I use for that journal, because I got to make this disappear sooner or later. Although I have been using some of it already. But I just wanted to show you the 2 together so you see that it falls into place for me. It always you know, I'm gathering stuff and I'm buying, and I know it's because it's the colors I like, but then when I get it all together in one spot and I look at it, it's just like, oh my goodness, how does this always happen? It just, I know I gravitate to those things, but it just flows, and that's pretty cool and pretty inspiring to be able to put the journal together and know that everything is, I have everything. So this piece here, and this piece, and this piece, I think it was part of a garment that must have come off of the sharing table, because I see that Hazel had part of this sleeve as well, and a part of this sheer fabric. I think she gave me half of it when she was cutting it up. So I've got a good size piece of trim here, which would look really nice on a journal for an edge. But it's pink again. I can't believe how much pink stuff I'm getting all the time now. It is a deeper pink, so not as hard for me to work with and look at as it normally is. But yeah, I don't know, Hazel, maybe if you remember, I don't remember. But one thing that for sure that came from Hazel was, this is half. It's not the same color. It's a little bit more pinky, like more rose pink. But this is half of what Thelma gave to her. And right now you're looking at the back side. So she gave me half of this. This thing weighs a ton, which is probably why our suitcases were so heavy. But the trim on here is unbelievable. Like, these are just the little spot trims. These can all be cut off and used in appliques, for appliques on clusters and little projects or tags. I mean, it can be used as it is as well. Then there's the base of this trim. And unbelievable. Look at this. It is just gorgeous. So yeah, I'm got to figure out a project to work with this, because it is so beautiful. There's so many possibilities to working with this. So I will give it some thought, and then there might be, you know, I might give some away as a little gifty, or I might put it in a kit. If I come up with all the stuff to make a kit, I might make a kit with some of this, because there's just a lot of it. And as much as I would like to say I'll use it all, I would be scared I would just hoard it. So I have to start cutting it up and taking advantage of all these beautiful pieces. It's not, you know, it's got to be an overlay, or it could be a flip in a journal, or an overlay onto other fabric, because it's so sheer. Yeah, it has to have something substantial behind it. But yeah, it is beautiful and extremely heavy. This is all beaded and sequins throughout. Just beautiful. This makes me sing. Here again, I have no need for fibers, but you know, it was there and it just said, take me home. So I did. And I think I paid $1 for it, but great for doing tassels, my colors, my kind of combinations. So it will get used, and you know, it's nice. I like it. Now there is a bag that came from Hazel. I think this is all Hazel's gifties to me. And there's more Hazel stuff too, but I just haven't got to that yet either. So I'm going to start out with this piece of all over lace. Very nice. Would definitely be used for clusters and maybe some tag making, maybe some pockets. She gave me this. Now this is a long trim. Not quite the same color to match that, but I have other fabrics and stuff in this shade of blue, so hopefully we'll find a match for it one way or another. It's not totally off. If I mix it with other shades of blue, it'll work fine, like if I have a whole collection of blues. This is part of a scarf that she gave me. There again, this is a very lightweight material, so I would use this with a backing underneath, something that will give it a little bit more substantial weight, and you know, that you don't see through it. It's kind of translucent. So when I'm working with any kind of scarves like this, I do put something underneath. The Other option, of course, would be to fussy cut these elements out of the dragonflies and the butterflies and use them in some slow stitching as well. But I love it. Then she must have had a ton of these. I've only found these 3 so far. Oh, I keep burping. I don't know why. Sorry, guys. I've only found 3 so far, but I know she gave me a bunch of them, and I know that she sat and slow stitched a bunch of them, and they were beautiful. So when I find those, I'll have to definitely show you those because they were gorgeous, and I'm looking forward to using those in a project. But I love these little hexagon pieces. I think she got, must have been a bag that somebody had cut up for making a quilt. You always find really good fabrics in those little quilty bags that come up. Some white polka dots, or white fabric with gold polka dots. I don't like it with the white. I would probably dye this in some color that will be complementary. This is kind of a foil on top here, so I know it'll dye really easily. But nice piece of material to use for accent. Love it. Then there's this. This is very, very pretty. How do you know, eh? How do you know that I like this? So here's butterflies in all shades, but now if we go back to this, this fabric here, you know, there's, it can be worked in, so can this be worked in, and so can this. So now I'm starting to see something come together that I can use to put a journal together. And then this incorporates all the colors. You've got a little bit of this, pink in here in this butterfly. You've got a little bit of teal in here in the patterns and wings over here. So it all starts to come together, and then you can blend all of these colors so nicely and use them to make a journal. So this might be a butterfly journal all by itself. Who knows? I never know what my next project's going to be. But I'm liking this so far. So I think I might put that all together. And then this is interesting. I would say probably, I know she had a whole bunch of fabric samplers. So this to me could be a page or something to do with my Peacock journal because I love the color combination. So this V shape here just lends itself to having some gold and teal beads stitched onto it to bring in those colors. Same with all of these lines. That's what I see right away when I see the lines. I see a path to embellish. So that's how I look at it sometimes. This might be more the teal blue beads where I can bring all of these colors together and then use it in small sections throughout the Peacock journal. So that right away, that's what I see. Then there's this. This is beautiful. It's part of a tablecloth. We love these tablecloths, don't we? And it's a kind of a jacquard or jacquard, as some people say, print. So it's on both sides, but kind of the reverse. If you look at it from that side, there's less of the gold. There's more of the red on this side. So beautiful piece of fabric to use. Undecided yet how I would use it, but you know, it goes in the pile with everything, and it's just amazing how it ends up working. So now I've got this blue with the gold. I've got part of this blue sari that she's taken from something. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. Love it. Yeah. Thank you, Hazel. I just love this. And then this must be the lining to it. I think that looks like a part of the boob there, part of the bodice. And then there's this. I see that going into that Peacock journal as well. I love the teals and the blues and the golds. More butterfly pattern. And more butterfly pattern. Here's a little one. That's cute. But I love this one. This is very boho for me. Love the fabric. Hoffman Spectrum Print by Hoffman, California. Cool. So there's enough to do a couple of pieces in here. A couple of journals. Big hole right here. Did you take out a butterfly you really needed? I have to find out what goes with that one then. Which one's missing? Oh, can't tell. This is like a bandana fabric, but oh, I love it. I love the print. Oh, it must have been a tablecloth, or maybe it was it could have been a pillowcase. No, I'm thinking tablecloth. Must have been part of a tablecloth. Love the colors. Love this very bohemian, you know, it's like very ethnic looking, which I love. So I could see doing something like that with that. And then she's given me some blue tulle. So going back down to this butterfly one, I see this is working there. And some blue laces. These are nice too. Yeah. I think that's going with this blue and gold here. So I think Hazel's given me enough to do a few journals. And I love this. I think I have this pattern in pink somewhere. I think I do. I'm going to have to send you some in pink, because now I'm putting a box together to send back to you, right? So yeah, beautiful fabric. I could see lots of possibilities. And maybe that peacock journal. Who knows, right? So that's all going to go into the bag for now until I have a chance to sort through it better. That's the thing with all of this stuff, is I've got to get it put away. Otherwise it becomes very overwhelming to me, and then I can't deal with it. So this is best if I get it put away as quickly as possible. And then there was one other purchase. I have a couple more books to show you yet, but I went to the Bombay fabric store, and it is in Winnipeg on McPhillips and Logan. It's in a little shopping center. And if you are even a little bit bohemian and love the, you know, the Indian fabrics and the saris, and if you just a little bit, that store is like it's just candy for your eyes. And it's so, there's so much that, you know, I was just like, it was like I had died and gone to heaven. I bought this bag of scraps, and I did buy some trims. I paid more than I should for the trims, but they were so beautiful. I wanted them. And so I just bought a 1/2 meter of a couple of them to take home. But I could just live in that store. Just give me a sewing machine and that store and unlimited cardboard, and I will be putting cardboard and paper, and I will be putting out more journals than you'll know what to do with them. It is just amazing. So this bag of scraps, she charged me $5 for it, and they are scraps, but my trims are down here at the bottom. I just want to take those out because I'm going to show you those separately. Okay. A couple more, I think 1, 2. Oh yeah, I'll show you those separately. Anyway, this is all raw silk, and they're just beautiful trims. I will use these, you know, for accenting on tags, and it's gorgeous. I would, if she would have had 10 bags of these, I probably would have wanted 10 bags. There's so many different colors, and they come with a lining, and they're perfect size piece. They're not meant to be for journals. I mean, I could do a patch journal with them, but they're just really meant to use for tags is what I'm thinking I'm going to do with them. And I may do some this week yet. This is a little bit brighter of an orange color. Then there's some blue lining here with the blue over top. Just, this makes me happy. Love these colors. And here's more of the green. This is the lining of the green. Yeah. And then there's a little bit of this pink, and that'll probably go with that other pink stuff that I got from those scrappy bits. But there's lots here, lots and lots. So if I start making tags with these, I'm going to have a really nice collection of tags for some upcoming journals. And yeah, just no end here as to how much. And so for $5, I thought this was pretty good. And this went with it because she was going to just charge me $5 for that. And I said, how about you throw this in too? And she said, okay. And then there was a couple of bigger pieces here. This has got a little bit of purple at the end. Just love that as well. So I might have to send some of this to either Hazel or to Caroline, because I know they both love purple, those girls. But this is just beautiful. And then this velvet on top of that. So there's a couple pieces here that are big enough to do a journal cover. Definitely. And it's the real thing. It's not the velveteen. It's the real deal. And it feels wonderful. It looks wonderful. It's very luxurious. And it came with these pieces of trim. So this would have been part of a dress, or used for part of a dress. Some of the beaded florals are not complete, but when it comes to making a tag, sometimes that's all you need on the corner of a tag. Of course, I don't have one here to show you, but like if I use this on the corner, it is more than enough if I cut it out like that. So one way or another, I will use it up in bits and pieces. And there are lots of the appliques that are in full pieces. So those I will definitely keep separate, that I don't cut them up, and I get to use the whole thing. So I could use this as a journal cover as well. It'll take some placing to figure out how I want to do it, or I may cut it into pieces that will fit, the front and back cover, and then just add some type of a, either a crochet doily or just a piece of plain velvet in between to make the spine. So one way or another, I will use this carefully. I might have to share a little bit of it with the girls, but yeah, it just goes on. And the fact that she threw it in with my $5 purchase of these other scraps, I wanted to stay there and continue shopping, but I knew I just don't have room in my suitcases. I knew that, so I will have to save it for another day when I have a chance to go back. And there's more of it here. So yes, lots of tags, lots of fun pieces to use as appliques, and just lovely, lovely, lovely. I just finished doing a round of purple. Well, I did a purple journal, and so I have lots of purple left over to make a few journals. So this will probably get incorporated with it when the time comes. I don't know when that time is. But. So as for the trims that I bought, yes, I spent more money on trims, especially when I realized, and when you realize too, is when you buy a sari, you're really buying the trim, because you just get so much trim and you get it for such a ridiculously stupid price. So this was one of the trims that I bought. I love the color. It's a 1/2 meter. And this one was probably, I think this one was $4 a meter. Yeah, this one was $4 a meter, so it wasn't a bad price. No, I'm sorry, $8 a meter. So it was $4 for this piece. But I have enough here to do, like the base of a journal cover and maybe a couple of trims on pockets or tags. But it's just the color that I loved and I wanted to play with. So I bought that one. So this would have cost me $4 for this, because it was $8 a meter. And these ones were $4 a meter. And so I paid, well, $4 for these two pieces, but I bought a 1/2 meter of each. Something stuck there. And I just liked the combination and the possibilities. And then this one's got a lighter teal, like kind of a seafoam color in there. And just beautiful. So these are for something special that I would work on in the future. And then the Primo one, this one was, I think, $12 a meter. So when you buy these saris and you pay $20 for a sari, just know that this is what you're paying for, is all this beautiful trim. So yeah, so I paid $6 for this piece, but it will be used for something very special. I have a couple projects that I will look at putting this on, and I will use it very sparingly. In small sections, but it's just, there are some things that you indulge and you splurge a little bit more on than you normally would, but it's for those special projects that you don't get to work on that often, and it's just colors that I like, and I had to do it. Sometimes I don't thrift. Sometimes I just buy what I like, right? So that was my big splurge when I went there, although I did buy a couple of antique items, and you will get to see that later on, but not as precious as this is. So that goes in my nobody gets to play with that but me pile. Because when those girls come, they get kind of free reign in my studio here. So there are some things that you have to say, nope, can't have that. So I have a few books to show you, and then I think I'm done because I think the time is telling me that I'm getting close to my hour here almost. This book, I don't think I paid more than about 25 cents for it. I love the cover, even though it's really beat up. I will definitely use this cover, and it is, you know, it's in German. It is probably the early 1800s, but just lovely font, and, you know, the larger print. Love this, and it's the perfect size to make a journal card with this as the base, and then, you know, collage over top of it afterwards. So beautiful font to work with, and nice little booklet, and then I will salvage and make a book cover with this. This one, I probably would have not even noticed or picked this book up, but you know, it's got this corrugated cover, so that made me look. And I can't believe that it has a corrugated cover to go with what's inside. Am I opening this right here? Here we go. It was 99 cents for this book, and it is on Celine Dion. I've always been a fan of hers. She has a beautiful story. She has gone through so much. And when you see how the cover is just this, you know, nasty little corrugated cardboard cover, and you open it up and the images in here are just stunning. She's such a beautiful woman. Yeah, she's got quite the story of her life. And the pictures, no, that's not a very good one, but the pictures in here are beautiful. So it looks like it's a, yeah, it looks like it's a address book, or yeah, phone book. Weddings and anniversaries. I didn't realize that. But I love the pictures. So someday, look at this. Isn't she just stunning? Stunning girl. And I love the pictures. I want to make it into a book. Because she's, you know, she has such a fun story. And then, you know, this part I can use for other things. Such a pretty girl. Very wholesome, isn't it? That's such a nice picture of her. We always see her all dolled up, and it's nice to see ordinary pictures of her once in a while. Just beautiful. So for 99 cents, you know, it's quite the book. I didn't realize it was, I wasn't looking at this. I was flipping through looking at the pictures, and just loving them. Huh. That would have to be in my little black dress book if I ever do that. I'll just show you a few more, but there's so many beautiful pictures in here that it's hard to not look at them all. Here she's getting dressed, so she's doing her hair's in curlers and she's putting makeup on. Fun. Her different hairstyles over the years. Another little black dress. Another one there. Oh, wouldn't that be beautiful for a Paris journal? I bet you, Thelma, if you're looking at this, I bet you want this one. Very beautiful girl. So yeah, there's lots of fun. Oh, place to add pictures too. So lots of fun things to do with this book. It definitely will have to come apart because I don't like the red cover. I don't think that represents her at all. I think for her, even though it has got Celine in here, I think it has to have something a little bit more fancy and, you know, luxurious looking so that it suits the person that the book is about. So that'll be down the road. It's just something I just said, oh, I can't leave it there for 99 cents. I can't leave it behind and let it just end up in the landfill, because eventually even the thrift stores take their books to the landfill. Unfortunately, you know, or goes into recycled materials, I suppose. But you know, I couldn't let it get destroyed. So one way or another. This book, I have never seen this one before. I was gifted this by Hazel as at our last stop, Value Village. She found this book and she said, I have one of these. How would you like this one? And then she bought it for me, which was so sweet. Thank you, Hazel. I love this. So it's The Country Flowers of a Victorian Lady. It's not Edith Holden. It is Fanny Robinson. Text by Gil Saunders, Victoria and Albert Museum. Victoria and Albert Museum, I guess. It's not old, I don't think. Let's see. Look at that page. Just that in itself, right? Copyright. Are they not going to give it to us here? Oh, first published in Britain in 1999 by Apollo Publishing. But the book has the feel of an Edith Holden. There are some beautiful pictures. Look at the imagery here. This is on poppies. So lovely images. This will go in the stack with the Edith Holden books that I have to use for future projects. Love the imagery. And it's nicely centered on the page. So if you're out and about looking for these kind of books, keep your eye out for this one, because I have never seen this one before, honestly. And I've done a lot of thrifting, and I scoured lots of books. But now maybe they'll come much easier to find them. And just beautiful pictures and throughout the whole book. So what's fun about this is, you're not losing too much on the other side. If you want to use this, it's not going to hurt that much on the other side. So great imagery. Now this was, she paid $5.99, but I did have one more coupon for her. And so she got 20% off of it. So thank you so much, Hazel. I'm going to love this. I don't know when I will get to this one, but it will be there to remind me to do something with it. But yeah, keep your eye out if you're looking, you guys. So this is it with the jacket. Let's see what it looks like without. Very plain. So it has gold writing on the edge. If you're looking for it, it says the number 8, has the letter A, I mean. But most likely, if you can find it with the jacket, it'll make finding it a lot easier. But keep your eye out for it, because if we've found one in Value Village, and if she's found many of them, and it's $19.99, these will be showing up in the thrift shops now, because that's a collecting era. And, it's been almost 40 years. No, 20 years, 25 years. So these will be starting to show up in the thrift shops. So keep your eyes peeled for them. They'll definitely show up. So that's it. That's all for today's video. I hope you saw some interesting things. I hope I didn't blab on for too long. And this is now, I'm finished suitcase number 2. I just got to put that stuff away and then get ready to do suitcase number 3. I don't know if I'll be able to do that one all in one video or not either. Maybe I'll take a break and do a box. But yeah, they're still coming, so there'll be a while. And I have some thrifting that I've done since, and I have that bag to do as well. So yeah, I've got a few weeks of thrifting videos to show you. So that's it. That's all for today. We have the weekend coming up, so stay tuned for Friday follow-up, and I'll be talking about arm's length art, what I'm going to be doing on Saturday, as well as some new digitals that are coming out on Friday. So stay tuned for that. And so far, nobody's given me the right guess, but keep guessing. If you have a chance and you think about something that you think it might be, keep guessing. That's it. That's all for today. I wish you all a very creative week, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.